This was another very busy evening at the gym, but luckily it was a jump day for me, so I wasn't going to be using too many pieces of equipment. I started off with a few plyometrics and then went into the usual few sets of band assisted jumps, while also doing some work for the upper body. I kind of took this session a bit easily because I still feel a bit of discomfort under my right foot, and a few of the plyometrics that I was doing in preparation for the band assisted jumps were reminding me that something is not 100%, so I decided to go as far as my foot was dictating. But as it concerns the upper body, I wasn't really having any issues in pushing the volume and the intensity to the usual numbers, and I actually added a third set on the pullovers with 12 kilo dumbbells, in line with my normal progression for most exercises that I'm doing right now. I stayed at 12 kilos on the pullovers, added a third set, and I will be doing maybe an extra session next week with the 12 kilo dumbbell, and then move over to 14 kilos and then back to 2 sets, and so on and so forth. Push-ups, the first set that I did was 26 reps, and then in the second one I was trying to do 22, so I'm slowly adding 1 rep per session if I can on those, similarly to what is happening also to the body weight dips. And there isn't really a limit where I'm going to be starting adding some weight over the push-ups, because there is already another session where I'm doing weighted push-ups, and I will be keeping these body weight only. So I was pushing the work kind of hard for the upper body and stayed a bit conservative on the lower body. Even the band assisted jumps, I wasn't really going to be pushing too much, but I didn't really feel also any discomfort in the sole of my foot. Maybe it's because it's not a lateral step, which was the variation of the early plyometrics while warming up that was giving me a bit of discomfort. And since I'm only jumping up and down with no lateral forces, not much torque, I think that those are a bit easier on the sole of the foot. The part of the sole where I feel the most discomfort is basically in the middle, under the arch, closer to the heel than the ball of the foot. And then, therefore, I try to stay in positions that were putting the most pressure on the front of the foot, trying to avoid any foot positions or angles that could potentially flare the pain back up. And as I was getting into this part of the session where I was planning to be doing approach jumps, starting off from low raises and then getting into the jumps, I was thinking about maybe going again for a left-right approach, as opposed to what I was saying last week of doing one session each week for each side of the two-step approach jumps. But I wanted to experiment a little bit just to see how far I could push it on the right-left approach, where my right foot is the penultimate stride and the one that probably gets the most pressure. And I was feeling a bit of a discomfort, but I was also not pushing it too hard. And definitely the numbers reflect that, because I was well below what I usually do with the right-left approach. I was all of the jumps were below 700 milliseconds, and I'm okay with that. It was a session where I wasn't going to be pushing any boundaries. Rather, I was kind of trying to figure out how much I can do in the current state of things as it concerns my right foot. And I don't think it's that bad. I just need to be careful in being strategic about how I do my jumping work for the next few weeks, I think. And this is the second and last set that I did and recorded. The jumps were looking a bit better, and the fact that I wasn't pushing as hard as I usually am kind of allowed me to focus a bit more on technique. I can see that my body is keeping a better position, my head is not looking down, so it wasn't all bad in the end. Hopefully next time it's better. Ciao.